like if you found the video valuable. The rain had begun again, thin, cold needles tapping against the windows of Hollow Pines Public Library. Cassie Bell barely noticed. Her attention was fixed on the warped wooden floorboard beneath the attic archives. She had only discovered it because of the whisper. Yes, the whisper. At first, she thought it was her imagination. A soft voice saying her name, barely audible, like wind through cracked glass. But it led her here. With effort, Cassie pried the board loose. Dust spiraled into the air, and there, nestled between cobwebs and old insulation, was a leather-bound book. Its edges were frayed, the clasp rusted, but it hummed with presence, as if the book itself breathed. The front read, Hollow Pines Civic Ledger, 1899? Curiosity nudged her forward. She opened it. Inside were columns. Name, date, location, and event. The events were strange: fire, missing, confession, accident, often vague, always unsettling. But what chilled Cassie most was the accuracy. She recognized some of the names, townspeople, their fates aligning perfectly with the entries. One particularly familiar name stood out. Elijah Kearns, September 12, 2003, Old Creek Bridge, drowned. Elijah had been Cassie's classmate. He'd drowned on a school trip, just as the ledger recorded. But the ledger was written in ink that had clearly aged, long before 2003. Goosebumps peppered her arms. She flipped to the final page. Only one entry stood unfulfilled. C. Bell, October 18, Library Archives, found. Cassie's blood went cold. That was today. And she was standing in the archives. Panic flared. She shut the ledger, clasped it tight, and bolted down the attic ladder. Her breath fogged in the cool, musty air below. Every shadow stretched a little longer than it should have. She grabbed her phone, but it was dead. Of course it was. Was this a prank? A forgotten prop? But no, the ink, the handwriting, the dust on the book. It all felt too real. She returned to the front desk. The library was empty, or should have been. Until she heard it again. A whisper. Found. It came from the stacks. Hello? Cassie called, her voice shaking. No reply. Then movement. A figure slipping past row E she followed, pulse hammering. Who's there? She demanded. Silence. The figure darted again. Now clearer. Tall, cloaked, face hidden beneath a wide brim hat. But it wasn't walking. It floated, barely grazing the floor. Cassie turned and ran. Back to the archive room. She had to return the ledger. Maybe that would end this. But when she opened the book again, the last entry had changed. It now read, C. Bell, October 18, Library Archives, joined. Her heart dropped. Joined? She whispered. Behind her, the air turned still, unnaturally still. She turned around. The cloaked figure stood inches from her. Its face was a hollow void. No eyes, no mouth, just darkness. It held an identical ledger in its hands, pages flipping without touch. Cassie backed away, but the attic ladder retracted with a groan. The door slammed shut, lights flickered, then, nothing. The next morning, the library opened as usual. Mrs. Winslow, the morning clerk, was puzzled to find Cassie's things neatly arranged on the desk, but no sign of her. Police searched. Flyers were posted. She was never found. Back in the attic, the floorboard was sealed tight once more. But beneath it, the ledger remained, waiting for the next whisper.